So you've hired, I'm going to guess, thousands of people. I'm not sure, across all your company, thousands and thousands of people. What is what is the number one attribute that you look for in a person that you're going to hire? And let me be actually more explicit. Let's say number one attribute specifically at an earlier stage, right? So obviously when you're getting to thousands of employees may be different, but at like, what is that number one attribute you're looking for?
It's tricky. I have come to realize I suck at a lot of things, and I'm not able to screen candidates for their capacity in engineering anymore in a lot of different categories because I've lost that grace. What I do provide in the early stage as a filter is just detecting the spark. You want in that first stage of company, not the skills that you actually need in middle and later stage, which is people who are great at process, who understand how to build large systems, who is thrilled with putting in things in place they can look back on years later and stand. You do not want people building things in titanium. You want people slapping together mud and duct tape and getting shit done. When I find the best clue to that, and I'll ask this in every interview I ever do, even at this stage, is like, why the hell do you want to do this next thing? What makes you see this as your chapter, and what things excites you? And then just digging into that to a point where you feel like you've gotten, either they don't know it internally, which sadly is a lot of the case, and they're just bullshitting. I want to be in a startup. I worked in a big company, or like, I love this industry, and you can feel it's not there. Sometimes you get to somebody who's like, I want to be rich, or I've never done anything that's meaningful. I want to do something, or I fucking love this customer. My mom was this customer. I've got to see that work. Like there's that desire, which hopefully people in your team can make sure they're actually qualified at the base level. But that also from a rate of change is what you're going to hope for. And the rate of change is really where you get the long-term value. Also, just knowing half your hire is going to be sucky. It's really hard to do good hiring. So I think some of that pressure off yourself is helpful. But I like my first company back when I was a teenager, my admin became chief of staff for the White House for Obama. Like she just never stopped growing, kicking ass and going the way. I've had tons of people who you would never expect to have so much longevity, but they just had that hunger. You never know where they're going to end up, right? So if you can catch people who look like they want to mark the world, even if they don't have the skills, they'll find them along the way. Also, meet everybody. This remote thing sucks. Meet everybody. You can't tell if they're crazy until you actually meet them.
Yes. I um you know when I think about all the best people that I've worked with early stage, they've all exactly how you described. It's like they not actually none of them had the skills to do the job I was hiring them to do, but they all had. I didn't even really think about it that way, but they all had a spark of something where you're like, okay, there's a drive here, and I think those people also, they're more resilient when there's the constant up and downs and changes and everything there, because it's not like they almost thrive in that. I would say,
And I'm sure there's a way to map it from a neurology standpoint in other places, but yet that same wild hunger and throwing things on the wall and eagerness to move forward. Maybe it's moving forward. It's someone who has motion in their existence. They're driving through because um, that is what helps you get through the shit show that startups always are. They look like straight lines. We narrate them in the past. They're always the most crazy roller coaster rides you could imagine.